All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started in the interest of time. As you're logging on, you're just going to catch up where I'm at, and if you're watching on the replay, then no worries anyways. So I'm going over numbers 8 and 9. I'm going to go ahead and start with number 8, and again, we're doing day 8. All right, the connection here is not good, just FYI. When we're solving for a missing number, we should first look for where the missing number is, and hopefully that's what you notice first about your fraction, is that that is missing. So I'm going to rewrite that with that out. Now I know that when I subtract the whole, because I'm starting with the whole and I'm subtracting a part, that I'll have the other part left, you know, whole, part, part. So when I go through this, oh, I'm glad you're writing this down. When I go through this, my first step is to pull this out and then rewrite it using my understanding of my relationship of numbers. So I can rewrite it and subtract this other part, which will help me find the first part. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 and 2 ninths. Hey, Sophia. 2 and 2 ninths. Hey, Ava. So I'm going to rewrite it as 2 and 2 ninths, and then I'm going to subtract this part. That'll help me find the other part. So I'm going to subtract my difference, which would be 19/45. And when I find that, that'll help me find that. So the next thing that I notice anytime I'm doing fractions is I want to look at my denominators, because I know I can only add if my denominators are alike. So I've got denominators of 9 and 45. And I need to figure out what would be a common denominator for 9 and 45. Oh, Sophia, we'll miss you. So I need to figure out my denominators of 9 and 45. If I didn't know, I would list my multiples. 9, 18, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 36, times 4 is 45. And so those are my multiples of 9. And then list my multiples of 45. And so I've got 45 times 2 is 90. And I would look, here's 45. Do I have a 45 up here? Yes, I do. Some of you knew that off the bat, but if you didn't realize, if you did not realize that your common denominator is 45, you'd list your multiples. So I'm going to rewrite this with denominators of 45. Now this already has a denominator of 45, so I'm just going to drop it down. So then I'm going to look back at this one, and I need to create an equivalent fraction with that common denominator of 45. So I need to figure out what is the relationship between 9 and 45. What did I do to go from 9 to 45? If I needed to, I could look at what multiple it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I know that because 9 times 5 is 45. So I'm going to multiply this whole fraction by 5/5. 5/5 is 1 whole. So 9 times 5 is what gave me 45. 2 times 5, the equivalent numerator would be 10. So now I'm good to go. I've got equivalent numerators and, equivalent denominators. And now I need to look at my numerators in order to subtract 10 minus 19. You know what I notice is that I can't have 10 minus 19. I can't subtract a larger number, not in the 5th grade context. But if I have $10, I certainly cannot give Publix 19. So what I do need to do is I realize that I have a whole number here, and I can borrow 1 whole from that whole number. So I borrowed 1, and I can add that 1 into my fraction of 10/45. So in terms of a whole, I would need to figure out how many 45ths is 1 whole, because I have to have those like denominators. And hopefully you recognize that 45/45 is what is giving you that whole. When your numerator and denominator is the same, that's a whole. I've got 45 pieces. I got all 45 shaded. So join together your 10/45 with your 45/45, and you would get 10 more would be 55 over 45. Bye. Happy Christmas. Or evergreen trees, you know, whatever. If you're in my class, you know what that means. So go ahead and rewrite this, and now I can subtract because I can do 55 minus, oh, you know what? I have a hard time doing that. I have a hard time doing this going horizontally. Okay, Sophia, I hope you come back later so that you can rewatch it and catch up with anything that you did not understand. Please, please, please. I hope I don't know. So I'm going to rewrite it going vertically. And 5 minus 9 I cannot do. So I'm going to have to borrow from my tens place and regroup that 10 into my ones place. So the 10 that I regrouped plus the 5 that I already had, now I have 15. 15 minus 9 is going to leave me with 6. And then 4 subtract 1 will leave me with 3. So now I have 36. So I have to bring over that 1. I've got 1 and 36/45. I pretty much solved it, but the problem is that I need to go back to my original fraction, which is got a denominator of 5. You know what I wonder? I wonder if I had an error anywhere, because I know that I cannot do 36 and divide it by 5. I wonder where my error would be. All right, guys, I'll tune in later. Hey.